Most people don't regret buying a Spyder. They regret rushing into the wrong one. Because when people first start shopping, they focus on the wrong things. Things like the color, the features, even the price. But none of that tells you how the Spyder is actually going to fit your riding lifestyle. And after the excitement wears off, that's when reality starts showing up. And how you ride, how long you ride, or even how comfortable you are, and whether you truly connect with the machine. And if those things don't line up, the Spyder slowly stops becoming part of your routine, not because it's a bad machine, but because it was never the right Spyder for you. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Kevin, low budget Spyder rider. And I've seen this go both ways. Some people get the right one and they ride all the time. And others, they never really connect with it. And eventually, it starts sitting more than it should. And that's why today we're going to talk a little bit about how to choose the right Spyder and why most people get it wrong. When most people start thinking about buying a Spyder, the first thing they start looking at is features. And usually they start with horsepower, trim level, even the technology that the bike may offer. But that's not where the decision should start. Because you're not just choosing a machine based on those things. You're also going to be choosing how it's going to feel and ultimately fit into your current lifestyle. And this is why, for me, the first thing that I look at in purchasing any motorcycle is going to be the fit. This is the part that most people underestimate. We don't think about our riding position, how naturally it's going to feel to us when we sit on the machine, how it feels to us when we're riding it, how it can affect our lower back and our body after 20 or 30 minutes of riding. Even taking in the weight of the bike. Does it feel manageable to us at low speeds? Do we feel comfortable parking it, even backing it up, or simply moving it around the yard from one spot to another? Our everyday comfort. Do we feel relaxed while riding, or are we constantly adjusting ourselves? Because if the machine doesn't work with our bodies, we'll start noticing it on every single ride. The second thing you have to consider is what type of rider are you? Because this is where people are either honest with themselves or they're not. Because most people don't buy based on how they actually ride or what they need. They buy based on how they think they're going to ride or what they think they may need. Are you a long distance rider? Do you prefer comfort when you ride? Because if you're thinking long highway rides or even passenger comfort or storage or even relaxed cruising, you're probably going to be looking at the Can-Am Spyder RT. Because what the RT does well, it's built for long distance riding. It's extremely comfortable over time. And ultimately, it can carry everything that you need. Because what surprises people, it can feel like a lot of machine on those short everyday rides. Now, in my case, I've had a few long rides, but most of my riding on my RT has been everyday riding. Running those everyday errands like to and from the store, or just out for that quick cruise every now and then. And where that works for me, that can be a bit much for some people on a bike that's as big as the RT. Or maybe you look at yourself as being a cruiser type rider. If you want more of an open riding position, a lower stance, or a more connected feel, most people look at the Can-Am Spyder F3. What this bike does well, it feels more engaging to most riders. It has relaxed arm and leg positions. Most people find it great for shorter or more frequent rides. But the trade-offs of the F3, you have less storage. Some people complain about the wind protection. But this is where a lot of riders feel more at home, especially if they're not necessarily touring. Now, if you're not sure where you fit in those first two categories, and you look at yourself as being more of a casual or even an entry-level rider, or even if you're thinking, I'm only going to be doing short rides, I'm looking for something simple and low initial purchasing costs as a new owner. If you're thinking this, most people find themselves looking at the Ryker. What the Ryker does well It's very easy to get into. A lot of new riders find it less overwhelming and extremely good for casual riding. But there are some trade-offs. It's not necessarily built for long distance comfort. There are aftermarket mods that you can add to increase comfort, but overall for those long distance rides, you might want to find yourself looking at a different bike. It has a more basic overall experience. But honestly, even if you start here, some riders skip this and move to a much bigger bike for a better experience to start. But making that transition too soon is where some riders get it wrong. And this is where the mistake really happens. They buy based on looks. They like how it looks, not necessarily how it feels. They may overbuy. They jump straight to the biggest model and never fully use what it offers. They ignore the first feeling. They notice something early, but convince themselves they'll just adjust to it later. And usually they don't. It just becomes their normal. But the real test is, if you really want to get this right, don't just test ride it. Pay attention. Pay attention to how your body reacts and ask yourself, am I comfortable after 20 or 30 minutes of riding? Do I feel relaxed when riding? Or do I find myself being tense? Do I want to keep riding? Or do I want to head back? Because comfort isn't something you fix later. It's something you choose up front. In the end, regardless of what category of rider you think you may fall in, you want to make sure you match what you buy to your real life needs. Because this is the part that most people skip. Be honest with yourself. You have to ask yourself, how often will I really ride? Where will I actually ride the most? Am I really taking long trips or just thinking about them? Because the right Spyder fits your real life needs, not your future plans. There's no such thing as the best Spyder. There's only the one that fits you. And if you get this right, you'll ride more, you'll enjoy it more, and it won't sit in the garage. But if you get it wrong, you won't always understand why. You'll just slowly stop riding. Now, if you already own a Spyder, what made you choose the particular model that you have? And if you're thinking about buying one, which one are you leaning towards right now? Leave it in the comments. As you already know, I respond to all the comments. If you like this type of Spyder ownership content, hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss my next video. Until then, live for the experience and definitely enjoy the ride. Peace.